snap, I bet you that's Melanie. What's going on? I already knew that was you. Jason, what's going on, brother? My what's up with this? This stand is crooked, bro. Hold on, I gotta fix this stand. This stand is crooked. There we go. I hope that's straight enough. I try to make it straight, but it looks still like it's crooked. I'll tell you what, this government, I'm not understanding it. I don't think anybody understands the government, bro. Let me tell you something. No. Jason, this is for you, bro. It is still crooked, huh? I know it is, man. I don't know why it's crooked, though. Oh, you know what? Because it is back here. There we go. Let me tell you something, Jason. Are you in the house, Jason? Even if Jason's not in the house, I'm going to say this anyway. And you know me. Okay, cool. Jason in the house. Listen, man. The world as we have previously known it, right, is gone. The way everything operated, let's just say 15 years ago, right? That's not this world anymore. Right? They did some sleight of hand switcheroo. I don't even know what they did exactly, bro, but let me tell you this, man. The world that we once knew, at least as far back as 15 years ago is when it started. This is not the world that it used to be. Not in any state, not in any city, not in any country connected to the United States or who deals with the United States. This ain't it. This ain't the world that it used to be. The way that we were when we were growing up, it's not the world it used to be, bro. And if anybody out there hasn't been able to tell yet that this ain't what it used to be, man. Right? Like the people, the businesses, the state of mind. Somehow it flipped. Yeah, this ain't the world it used to be, man. But I don't mean in the terms of it got newer neither, though. Yeah, a lot of things are gone forever. And that's the thing. It's going to make a lot of people feel depressed and extremely saddened inside. Especially people my age, because the way that we grew up knowing the world to be, it's not like that anymore. And they pulled the rug from under you without you even realizing it, without you even seeing it, without you even understanding or really even like noticing it. Like they made a change whether you like it or not, basically, right? And the reason they did it was because they're basing everything on this being a spiritual experience, right? You know what they say, right? We're spiritual beings having a human experience. But these people that rule shit, you feel me? These people are spiritual beings having a human experience, but in a diabolical way, in a very evil, devilish kind of way. So, with that being said, bro, please like and subscribe, man. Right? Today is still March 17th, 2026. Today marks my 9th year anniversary in the state of Michigan, man. And it's over in 7 minutes, right? So I wanted to get on before it was over with, right? It's my 9-year anniversary today. You know what I'm saying? They pulled the rug from under all of us, everybody, even the people that rock with them. They pulled the rug effective immediately from everyone, man. No, I don't, Jason. No, I don't. I don't like Michigan more than I like my hometown. Not at all. It is extremely conservative here. It is extremely segregated. It is extremely controlled. And all ages, though, really imagine how scared the kids are. We need to talk. But mostly we have to build a place in each town and city that can bring true help to the community and wealth back to each person. Man, listen. Yeah. It just, it ain't the same, man. And the reason that I believe it's not the same, this is just speculation. This is just my humble opinion. This is just for entertainment purposes only, but they wanted to set the stage for the next World War, right? But the world as we know it will never be the same. So if you are anywhere from the age of 30 to 50, you've noticed, let me see, what was the date? 30 years ago. So 2026, 2016, 2006. So 30 years ago was 2006, right? Or am I wrong? Maybe I got it wrong. I think, let me see. Yeah, that's right. No, 1996 to 2026. Yeah, I definitely got it wrong. But just count in reverse. Regardless, right, you feel me? Regardless to what 30 years was, that was just some on-the-spot calculations. I know 2026 to 2016 was 10 years. 2016 to 2006 was 20 years. And from 2006 to 1996 was 30 years. So 30 years from 1996 till right now is when, which is crazy because that was the year that I was introduced to the California Youth Authority, right? And that I went to the Youth Authority in mid 1996. So they put me on the bus in May, right in the middle of the year. I spent the other half of the year of 1996 up in Stockton, California, right? Sacramento and Stockton. I was only in I was only in Sacramento for like 2, maybe 3 months. And then the rest of the year, I was in Stockton, right? But they pulled the rug from under everybody. And basically what I mean by that was they pulled the rug was they had already had changes in place. They had plans for changes, you know, the federal government, of course, the motherfucking justice system, and just all the elites. It was a plan from the beginning that dates back probably close to 40 years, right? 40 to even 50 years. But within the last 30 years is when we was really able to see the changes, man. You know, and it's crazy because like a lot of people are still looking around like, what the fuck happened? And all I could say is it just reminds me of the old saying that there's 3 type of people in this world, man. There's the people that make things happen, there's the people that watch things happen, and there's the people that say what the fuck just happened, right? This shit was gonna happen regardless, but it just sucks when you're a part of the class of people that gets the information last. When you don't have the information, you just have to be a part of the change. You just have to watch it change, and you're like wondering, well, what the fuck happened? You know what I'm saying? And so we not going back to the way things used to be. And I just want to say that to my people, man, here on YouTube tonight, that we not going back to the way shit used to be. That shit is over, man, right? This little new evil program is the way it's gonna be moving forward, right? And I was telling my baby mama, I was telling her, I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if America shrinks in size, right? Everybody moves to the middle of the country, and the outskirts of the country start to deteriorate with war, corruption, you know, trafficking, you know, all the stuff. And if you think about it, like if you really pay attention and you think about it, we not even in a position to sustain this entire country like it used to be. Like there was a time when the whole United States was good. It didn't matter where you went. You can go from New York to California and anywhere in between, all through the South, and you were good, right? You could live a good life. You could find a nice place to live. You know, those days are over, bro. Oh yeah, what's going on, Demon Slayer? How you doing tonight, man? Yeah, those days are over, bro. You know. And I was really just sitting back pondering on that shit, just like how the OGs used to talk when I was a youngin', right? Oh man, I'm just sitting here doing my nightly politicking, man, and trying to take stock of, you know, the state of the world that we're in today, these days, you know. But you know, I remember the old people, the old timers and the OGs used to always talk about how things used to be, right? And how they were upset because the world had changed so much, right? And now here I am in 44 years old saying the same shit. But the crazy part is I still feel young inside, bro. I still feel young inside. I still feel like the kid that I was back growing up, right? I look at it and I'm like, damn, man, I'm 44 now, but I remember when I was 14. I remember when I was 24. Shit, I kind of remember when I was 4, but anyways, here I am now saying the same shit. Like, damn, man, whatever happened to the good old days? You know. But I will say this, though. I really feel like this time is different. It's different than all the other times. This time is different than all the other times because, and I'm going to tell you what makes it different, is the simple fact that we move so aggressively forward with technology and information and intelligence and the wealth class separating the difference between wealthy, middle class, poor, right? They were talking about the middle class 20 years ago. If 96 was 30 years ago, then 2006 was when everybody was talking about the middle class completely disappearing off the radar, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just and it was all the people with the jobs that were in the range of, we'll say, $65,000 to $100,000 a year, right? From, we'll say 60 to 100, right? Dollars a year. Those people were starting to complain in the early 2000s that their quality of life was dropping, and no matter what they did, there wasn't nothing they could do about it. The home, the mortgages, the interest rates, the just everything. You know, cars started to get more expensive. If a family wanted to go out and buy a brand new Cadillac Escalade, I mean, how much was let me not get ahead of myself. Let's start here. Does anybody know the price of the first generation Cadillac Escalade? Basic, regular package Cadillac Escalade truck that the average suburban family would go out and, you know, finance. Yeah. I would say no, it 50,000 or less. 50,000 or less. First generation Escalade, $50,000. I'll say from 42 to 50. Which, first generation, that was a lot of money, right? That was a lot of money. Now Escalades are pushing all the way up to $150,000. In some cases, you can find an Escalade that is pushing close to 200. Same truck, same manufacturer, same everything. You got the Escalade well over 100 grand. $35K for the first gen. So I said 42 to 50, right? But that was for a fully loaded package, everything included, leather, sunroof, just everything, chrome. Back then, right? Yeah. The first generation of Escalade. For everything. You weren't gonna pay maybe for a rare one, 62, right? 62,000, right? But now, that same one, and we ain't talking about the V with the 600 horsepower with the big V8. We ain't talking about that one because they didn't have the performance packages then that they have now, neither, right? But the point I'm trying to make is even the regular model that the suburban family would go after right now is starting in the 80s, right? And I know this because my baby mama's brother got an Escalade. $101,000 for his truck. I still can't believe that he bought it, right? It was used. By the way, it was used. 101,000, right? But the point I'm trying to make, man, is that the way of life that it used to be like, everybody might as well get comfortable, right? And I hate to say it, but everybody's talking about all these things. Everybody's complaining about conditions. Everybody's like uncomfortable. Everybody's uncertain. A lot of people are in fear. Bro, get used to those feelings. They've been telling us that the New World Order was in effect forever, right? They've been telling it, like we've been hearing from everywhere. The speakers, the platforms, all the way back to the MySpace days, to the beginning of YouTube. You know, the New World Order it's not only here, but they're already moving to the second to third leg of the New World Order, right? So I was just saying, like, you got this Escalade truck in today's times that is costing you, for the same truck that you could have bought in 2000, right, for $45,000. Not only has it doubled, but they didn't add an extra 15,000 onto it for 100 grand, right? But the issue is that the entire time that was happening, how many people on this live, I know it's only 2 people in here right now, but like, how many people have made like significant strides in their occupations? Whatever you guys do, man. Let's say a guy that comes into my video who's been working at his same place of employment for 30 years, since 1996. Does your pay reflect the progression of our society and our technology? I guarantee you it don't. Unless you're like an engineer, unless you're a part of, like, you know, the leadership of the company, right? And you did a kick-ass job for the last 30 years and worked your way all the way up to ownership status. Is there anybody who can say that their employment where they work is paying them the money to keep up with the prices of the houses, the economy, the food, and the vehicles, and everything that you need to sustain in society? The answer is no. I don't even need to have nobody chime in and say, oh yeah, no, ain't nobody got that, right? But I'll tell you what, right? You can go buy a used car, and even the used cars are expensive as hell, right? But the crazy part is this: they got communities, no bullshit, right now being built in places like Texas, California, Colorado, Florida, all through the just different places in America where you cannot own the house. You can move into the community, but just know, don't nobody in that community own the house. It's rent only. Big ass, nice ass house. And the crazy part is this, right? The community is owned by the billionaires. Exactly, Jay. Boom, you hit the nail right on the head. We're going into a socialist, communist future, right? That's why they say the mark of the beast is going to be get your chip implanted in your wrist, get your retina scans for your identification, your motherfucking bank account, your information will be, you won't need any card. You won't have to carry a wallet. Your wallet will be inside your skin, right? And I don't know. Some people say that's the mark of the beast, right? I don't know. You tell me. Is that the mark of the beast? I don't really know. I don't think it's the mark of the beast. I think it's just that we're moving into a cashless, ownerless future. You ain't gonna be able to own nothing. I was making a joke, right? Check out the joke I was making though. Cause this shit is funny, man. It's funny, but it's not funny, right? This is what I said. I said, so this is what the future gonna look like, bro. You gonna be able to live in a house that comes with a car in the driveway. And if you live in that house, you subscribe to the neighborhood, you subscribe to the house, but you don't have to subscribe to the car, right? But if you don't subscribe to the car, you won't be driving that car, but the car will stay in the driveway. If something happens to that car, the government or whoever is in charge of however it works out, they'll come fix the car, they'll maintenance the car, they'll keep the car in tip-top shape. You won't have to worry about taking a car to a mechanic ever again. It's kind of like a city bus, a company vehicle. They automatically get maintenance, they automatically get maintained. All you do is drive it. That's it. And if you want to drive a car in the future, you're going to have to subscribe. You're going to have to pay a monthly fee to drive a car that sits in the driveway of the house that you also subscribe to, in a neighborhood that you also subscribe to. And if you don't have the money, you ain't subscribing to none of that shit. But don't worry, because they're going to have other communities, the ghetto of the future, where you can also subscribe. But you won't be able to get an apartment, own your own car, go to work, and just own all these things. Now, here's the thing. I also said that I believe that it'll be to the degree of this. If you're a baller and you just got all this money, okay, that's cool. You can subscribe to multiple cars, just like you can buy them now. You know, you drive down through your neighborhood and you see like the guy up the street, he's got like 5-6 cars in his driveway. Well, that same guy in the future is just going to be the baller that all those cars you see are just going to be him having enough credit to subscribe to multiple different vehicles. But the minute that he can't afford his subscription, those cars will disappear. And the only thing he'll be left with is the default vehicle that came with the house to begin with. All the cars will look the same. All the neighborhoods will look the same. The cities will look the same. And that's how they want it. Because it's easier to maintain control over the people with a program like that. You can't hide nothing when they own everything. How you gonna hide some shit that you don't own? You're not. Cryptocurrency is the wave of the future, no doubt about it. I do believe crypto is most definitely the wave of the future. But right now, it's marketed to make it seem like you can get rich off of crypto. And hey, maybe you can, right? But it's just like anything else. The game is grab as much credit as you can. Because when they move to the next leg of this aggressive move forward into the future, you gotta have all the things that they're gonna be using in the future. And digital currency is one of those things, right? So the guy who's got mountains of cash hidden around his house, if he don't take that money and put it into cryptocurrency, then that money ain't gonna be worth anything, right? It ain't gonna be worth shit. It's just gonna be a mountain of monopoly money. Well, let me tell you this, Jay. You know what I believe? Pay attention to what I say. We are moving aggressively forward. The federal government nowadays are not fucking around. They are trying to get this shit done. I would say by 2050, a lot of this shit will already be in play. But this is how it's going to go. The communities are already being built, right? Just because, how you doing, Jay Biggs? How you doing, bro? Let me stop for a second. William says that he believes that the cryptocurrency will be forbidding to change to our regular currency. It will be suffocating the use of crypto. Nah, man, they are going to snatch the paperless. I mean, excuse me, they're gonna snatch the paper money. The question is not whether they're gonna do it or not. It's what country are they gonna implement it in first. I believe that places like China, Japan, certain places in Europe, United States tries to act like they're still old school, right? They want to baby the South a lot of places and let the South still be the way it was all the way back to the 1950s and 60s. But like I said, though, there's still a lot of places in America where they've already started building these communities. They've already started building them, bro. There's communities right now in America where you cannot buy a house in that community because that community is owned by billionaires. The only way to get into that community is if you rent. That's it. You cannot buy the house. Yeah, I know. And the reason why is because you got to think. Japan is one of those countries to where they got a lot of technology in Japan, man. I love Japanese people, right? I love all Asians and Orientals, man. I really like their vibe, right? But anyway, Japan, China, the Orientals, I'll say. No disrespect to the Oriental community. They got the technology, man, right? Like they got it and they're not afraid to use it, right? America got it too, but we be bullshitting on using it, right? We want to like pick and choose what works and what doesn't work yet. So in other words, America's already got technology that they can implement, but they may not feel like it's time because it won't work just yet. The people will reject it, so they're waiting. But in other countries where they have more control over the masses, they're implementing. But that's the cap, though. That's the cap, because in America, the housing market is one of the things that they're already starting with, because they know they can harness the real estate before anything else. The money system, you know, the camera system like they have in Europe and China, where, you know, you got all these cameras, bro. And most of you motherfuckers know what I'm talking about. The cameras. The main thing you hear right now in America is flock cameras. Flock, flock, flock. Camera, camera, camera. What is a flock camera? A fucking flock camera is a camera that can follow you from New York to California. And it can tell the federal government every place you've been from the start to the finish of your trip. So that's one of the things that America's already implementing. These ownerless communities is another one of the things that they're already implementing, right? So that's why I say, man, the past is gone forever, man. right? I'm already just ready to embrace whatever comes for me in my future and whatever it is, even if it's to be unalived. I don't care. I'm just embracing whatever it is because crypto didn't just pop up out of nowhere. And there ain't no coincidence that there are millions of cryptos out there. Like, maybe not millions, but there's a lot. There's billions of dollars in it already. But, like, there's so many different cryptos that you could tap in. Even Trump got a fucking crypto. Trump coin. You know, Elon helped with Dogecoin. And then you got Bitcoin. Obviously, everybody knows Bitcoin. I'm not about to name it all because it's too much to name, right? They got shit like they got it all. Like literally, they got it all. And it's just a matter of time, bro. But the way that the world used to be is no more. It ain't no more, man. The world is changing between our I said between our eyes. The world is changing before our eyes. And it ain't no change that anybody's welcoming. It's a bunch of shit that nobody wants to see because we're used to shit being one way. All across the world, everybody's used to the world being one way. Jason says that somebody told him someplace in the world, big control, how many kids can you have? That's in China. China has a regulation on how many children you can have. And but see, that's been in place for quite some time, man. Over in China, they have a population issue, which they also have a population issue in India. They have a population issue in so-called America. I don't know if they stopped doing it. I just know that they had it implemented at one time that each household could only have 2 to 3 children. And if you had another one, that shit was considered a crime, right? So I'm just saying that that's a place that I knew actually existed a limit on the amount of children that you can have. William says, yes, I agree with you. I'm from Brazil. Here, the government has a project to start an official cryptocurrency called Drex, Brazilian real cryptocurrency. Hey, well, yeah, let's not forget about the BRIC Nation, man. You know, the BRIC Nation is real, right? I know we all heard about the BRIC Nation where they were trying to get rid of all the cash in the world and move to one world currency for all. You know what I'm saying? Jay says, how is crypto beneficial? Well, right now it's beneficial because all the traffickers use it and all the big time crime lords use it because you can't track it. It's the best money to use for money laundering, right? It's there's a lot of, but it's not going to be that way forever though. Like right now it's kind of like a free for all because they've been working with it, building it, organizing it, you know, populating it and divvying it out into the population, into the populace to, I would say that they're studying it and gathering data on it so they can see how it's going to work amongst the people up against regular paper money, right? Yeah, and Jason said there's places you can't even use cash anymore, and he's absolutely right. There's places where they're gonna get ready very soon to phase out. See, right now in America, we got the $1 bill, the $5 bill, the 10, the 20, the 50, and the 100. You remember when we had the $2 bill? That got phased out. The $1 bill is going to get phased out. They were talking about phasing out the 5 and the 10. I don't know when any of that's going to get, you know, put in place. But I'm the kind of person where I think once I hear about it, I know it's happening, right? Once I hear about it, I know it's happening, right? Because that's the thing, right? Is like you understand something about the world that you think to yourself, well, this shit is bigger than me, so how did I just hear about it? It is bigger than you, but the reason you heard about it is because somebody somewhere at some point in time said, hey, this is going to happen, spread the word. And so you hear about it, but then you wonder, like, well, I ain't nobody, so, me not being nobody, um, you know, um, how would I hear something so significant that's gonna be happening in the future for all of humanity, right? That's how they did. That's how they did. You know, that's how they did C-19, COVID-19. You know, everybody heard about that, and then everybody took the vaccine, right? And you know what? I believe that's when the change really took place, was during the COVID-19, right? That's when they like made significant changes to the system why that was going on. But that's why they put the shelter in place in effect, because it wasn't about sheltering in place. Obviously, we see half the population didn't even get sick, but it was like, while we were sheltering in place, they were doing this shit. They were doing this over here while they was doing this over here. And we thought that, because I know I did, I thought for sure, we're all about to die. Oh my God, this is how we die, from being sick? And it was so believable just based on the fact that when I was going to school in junior high and high school, I was remembering about the bubonic plague, the black plague, the Spanish death, and all these different fucking flus that they had that wiped out, tens of millions of people that we learned about in school. I was like, man, so this happens again like this. I thought we were like way more sanitary and advanced for like something like this to happen. But so I was scared. I ain't gonna lie, I was fearful as hell when COVID-19 first came about, bro. I was like, whoa. But then nothing happened. And Jason, you absolutely right, man. I think everybody misses 24-hour Walmart. That was the spirit of America, bro. Like, for real, man. Like, being able to leave out your house at 2 in the morning and go grocery shopping right when your money clears. I don't know, man. Maybe that's an American thing. I don't know, because I've only lived in America. But, like, for anybody watching me that's not in America, let me just tell you guys how us Americans get down, right? Where a lot of us are checked and checkers, right? So what we like to do is have 24-hour Walmarts, right? How it used to be. And what we would do is we would, like, on payday and shit, or whether it was food stamps or whatever kind of money we was waiting on, right? Us Americans, and I'm pretty sure everybody's the same, we would know exactly the time when it was getting ready to clear and post on our account, right? So it could be 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, right? And we'll be like, damn, we got to go shopping, man. So we'll be like, we'll be like, oh shit, the money just cleared. We jump in the car at 3 o'clock in the morning and drive straight to Walmart and go shopping. And when you get to Walmart, especially in Las Vegas, bro, you get to Walmart, it's not even empty. It's a bunch of motherfuckers in Walmart at 3 in the morning, because everybody's money cleared at the same time. And that's why we missed our little 24. But see, now they got like, it's even hard to find a 24-hour 7-Eleven nowadays. But I'll say this, 24-hour places will never, ever truly disappear, because I don't give a damn what's going on in the world. There's always going to be a market for a 24-hour business, period. There just always will. So Like big business, I don't know. I think Walmart started out one way and ended another, right? On some real shit. I think Walmart started out as an innocent grocer, general store. It grew, it grew, it grew. The family made billions of dollars. They linked up with the government, got all these fucking contracts, you know what I'm saying? And then the next thing you know, it's basically a government entity now, right? Walmart is no longer just a store where you can go shop. They just keep a few stores in the cities across America to make you feel like Walmart is still Walmart, but we know it's really not. We know it's not. It's too much weird type of shit. Fambo, man, I ain't seen you around in a minute, man. I'm glad to see you, bro. Really, really glad to see you, bro. I just feel like Walmart is not the same store that it used to be because of all the government contracts that they've received over the years. You know, my cousin, right? He got a little bit of money, right? He used to tell me this, right? When we would go shopping, my cousin is the nigga in the family with all the money, right? Excuse my language. I didn't mean to call him the nigga, but my cousin is the guy in the family who's got, you know, he's got cheddar. So like we look to him for a lot of things. Like when he used to come out to Las Vegas and he would come pick me up and we would go party, my cousin would hand me $1,000 and say, here, we finna go gamble. And I remember one night he handed me 2 racks, $2,000, and said, this is just to have a good night, right? So that's what we did. We was hitting casinos, doing this and that. And he just handed me $2,000, right? But this is what he told me. Long story short, right? My cousin said, like, he would take me shopping with him a lot. And he would say this. When we go into the grocery store, he was like, I would go straight to self-checkout. He was like, no, man. Don't go to self-checkout. Hell no, do not ever go to self-checkout. And I was like, why? Cuz what's going on, man? And he was like, bro, they're making you check your own groceries out, but they're still charging you the same price. Why they're getting rid of the cashiers. And if they get rid of the cashiers, the grocery store lifestyle is going to change forever. So go through the line where there's a live human being checking out the groceries. And you know what? Most of the time, I'm not going to say every time, but most of the time when I go to the grocery store, I go through a lane with a live person. Now, because I always remembered what he said. Because I understood what he meant and I agreed with him. They're trying to make it all automated, and then they're going to take those jobs away. And that's why everybody was always talking about how AI and automation was going to take everyone's jobs. It started at Walmart. Walmart was the pioneers for that bullshit. So, long story short, man, when you go to the grocery store, when you go to Walmart, don't go to self-checkout. I don't care if you only got 3 items. Stand in line and go through the cashier so they can keep their jobs, and the government's data can show that a live cashier is still something that is favored by the people. It's still something that we want. We don't want to see a store with no employees. We don't want to see that. And that's something my cousin told me that I agree with. Now, I also said that I don't always go through self-check. I mean, I don't always go through a lane where there is a person. Sometimes, you know, I got a few items. I'm trying to hurry up and get out the store. But that's cool. And I'll tell you why. Because that also will reflect the data that people want both. We want the live person, but we also want self-checkout for the people that are in a hurry, that just got a few items. But what we don't want is for, and then you already see the fact that you go into the grocery store and ain't nobody even working the cash registers because they're trying to herd the cattle to the self-checkout. That's why they'll have 2 cashiers and fucking 15 self-checkouts open, right? And then they got the nerve to be like, oh, we got card only self-checkout and we got cash card and only cash. That's because they're trying to push, because let me tell you what they're doing when they do that. They're trying to manipulate the data. They're trying to force the narrative, and people just be like, people are so irritating, man. Because it's like, you don't see what these motherfuckers are doing? They're trying to force you to do something so that they can get a ruling in their favor. So when you go into the store one day and there ain't no cashiers ever again, then you're going to be feeling some kind of way, but you're not going to understand that you contributed to the reason why the cashiers lost their jobs. And if the cashiers lose their jobs, those same cashiers got to go apply somewhere else. And it's just going to bottleneck the economy to where because there's a lot of cashiers out there. There is a lot of cashiers. Think about it. Every business, every retail store, every grocery store, every gas station, even electronic stores, right? Like Big Best Buy. I can even take you guys all the way back to Circuit City, right? They all had cashiers. And a lot of those places are gone now altogether, but like when they don't have cashiers, Radio Shack is another one. When they don't have cashiers, people are going to have to look for jobs elsewhere. And let me tell you, the system is going to just do this. It's going to do a repeat to, like, let's take McDonald's, for example. Is terrible and shitty as everybody says McDonald's is. Let's just take McDonald's for an example. They already got kiosks at McDonald's to where you can walk in, type your order on a fucking computer, and a person will come and give you your meal. They'll call your name. Number 345, here's your double cheeseburger and extra fries, da-da-da. And so you'll raise your hand, that's me. You'll walk up, get your food, and leave, right? They've already cut out the cashier partially, right? That's just, and it's the same at Taco Bell. It's the same at Wendy's. It is even the same at restaurants where you sit down and fucking eat, man. I'm telling you. We don't want that shit, but we're going to get it regardless. We don't want it. Like, nobody wants that. You know why? Because we want to hold on to the old school way that life just has always been. Like, that's just the way we're comfortable with living. But it's the fact that we're being marketed this convenience. But with convenience comes great sacrifice. You're taking jobs away from your fucking community. You're taking the experience away from shopping. You're turning the grocery store into an automated fucking robotic place where it's not. And you know what? I'm going to tell you what they do. When they see that the people just want convenience, they start fucking with the food too. They're like, oh, so these motherfuckers just want convenience. So they just want to hurry up and they just want to get out of here as quick as possible. Well, let's see how they feel about, I don't know, 3D printed chicken. So next thing you know, you're going to go to Walmart. There ain't going to be no cashiers. And there ain't going to be no real food. Because they want to give you the ultimate convenience. But that's the fucking devil, bro. I don't care. That's the devil talking to you and making you feel like, don't get too comfortable with convenience because they will take it too far. Like we already know, man, our government takes everything too far. The billionaires are not in touch with the everyday person. They're just not. They're not. Yes, they're the big dogs. Yes, they rule over everything, but they're just out of touch with what the everyday person wants. So they are making shit for their own pockets that is affecting the people. That self checkout shit is part of that. You know what I'm saying? But it's just the point. Long story short, I keep saying that, huh? The long story short statement, man. But long story short, man, the world is never going to be the same again as it was just 20 short years ago, 30 short years ago. It'll never be the same again, man. And we did it to ourselves because we accepted what they put in front of our face. We were distracted. We were moving about. We were just trying to get in and out of these places, get back to our families, get back to the party, get back to the kickback, get back to the barbecue, get back to the pool party. Whatever we was doing, right? The whole time, the corporations that run everything over our head was watching us, collecting data off of us, our purchases, our movements. And they were like, so this new breed of people, they don't even want to be bothered with the shit that people from the 80s and early 90s were doing. They don't even want that. They just want boom, 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 as fast as fucking possible, man. I fucking can't stand DoorDash, Jay. I hate DoorDash. What up? I got poisoned by DoorDash, man. So I got an extra reason to hate DoorDash, bro. I literally got poisoned by a DoorDash employee. And I fucking called DoorDash and I told them this bitch poisoned me. And they didn't do shit about it. They didn't want me to file no reports. So I knew that they was fucking complicit in the act of poisoning me. Now, mind you, it wasn't a poison to death type of situation. It was just a poison to make sick type of situation. But I definitely don't like DoorDash. And it's not even that I don't like it for that reason. But look at the fees that are attached to your convenience. Bro, I don't know what the poison was. I just know that, man, I had to go to the emergency room, man. And I don't even want to get into that, bro. We're not going to get into that because I'm not talking about that. I'm not getting distracted off what I'm trying to make the point out of, which is this. DoorDash ain't shit. It ain't about me getting poisoned, but let me tell you what it is about. You want convenience? Look at how much it's costing you. Let me tell you what DoorDash. So you want to know the poison? I'm gonna tell you the poison, Jay. The poison is this. They'll take a $10 meal and turn it into a $35 meal, and that's poison. They're poisoning your pockets. But then they'll turn right around and say this. It's not meant for everyday use. Even though they know there's millions of Americans who don't own cars and can't get around. And then they know about the Midwest and the East Coast where it gets cold as fuck in the wintertime and can't nobody move around to go grocery. They know there's millions of people in the Midwest and the East Coast that don't own vehicles. They rely 100% on stuff like DoorDash. They know that. But that's how they can turn a $10 meal into a $35 meal. How are you going to sit there and eat every night off a DoorDash when you're paying $35? Even listen, even if you want to order a Gatorade from 7-Eleven, it's $22. You got to pay the driver, you got to pay the fucking service fee, you got to pay the convenience fee, you got to pay the delivery fee, all these fucking fees, right? Because it was never meant for the poor people anyways, right? I tell my people this shit all the fucking time. Like, look, man, if we got to walk our ass to the grocery store in the snow and just be cold, I'd rather do that than give DoorDash all my fucking money. And then they don't even give it back to the driver or the restaurant. But let me ask you this. What is an $8.99 delivery fee? What is that? What is an $8.99 delivery fee? I don't even understand what that is. A delivery fee? Bro, because a driver pulls up, parks, gets out his car, walks in the store. So you're telling me that if the restaurant makes a meal, puts it in a disposable plate, you know how they put it, they got the like Chinese store type of food, right? They put it in the styrofoam little plate, right? Give you a little bag, a spoon, fork, and a napkin, salt and pepper, and then you get, that goes inside of a plastic bag. So you're telling me that's $8.99? And then they base it on if you go to a Mexican food spot, Middle Eastern spot, or a Chinese food spot, why are the delivery fees different depending on where you go? I don't understand it. How the fuck are you paying an additional $10 for a delivery fee that doesn't go to the store or the driver? What's going on, man? Mommy and daddy will pay for their rich kids. That is why they just hand over the money. Yeah, but you know what? There's millions and millions of people across America that are not rich that have to pay the same convenience fee, but they're not doing it for convenience. They're doing it because they don't own a vehicle. And they live in a place like where I live in Michigan where it can get 5 degrees outside in the wintertime. And if you don't have a car, you ain't gonna have no other way to fucking eat. You feel me? You ain't gonna be able to do it. Good. My channel is about awareness. Why don't you sit back, relax, like and subscribe, and check out the vibe, and you will see what this channel is about. I promise you that. But right now, we're about awareness. We're about real news, not fake news. And whatever else you could use, right? I like to cook. I like to talk shit. And I like to keep it 100. And I got almost 800 subscribers because of it. So I'm building myself up, you feel me? But like right now, we're bashing DoorDash. We're doing a DoorDash bash. We're doing the whole automation and this aggressive move to the future. And we're trying to understand exactly where we're headed and why life will never be the same for a lot of American citizens. I say American citizens because I'm an American citizen. I'm not from Europe. I'm not from China. I'm not from Africa. I'm not from Russia. I'm not from Argentina. And I damn sure ain't from Venezuela. I ain't from Iran. I'm not from Israel. I'm not from none of those places. I'm from USA, where shit was always simple and easy and kick back. And now it's not. And we're trying to get to the bottom of why shit ain't the way it used to be. What's good, Joey? We just trying to get to the bottom of some real issues that be on everybody's mind, bro. That's all it is, man. When you an American, you got the right to like talk about this shit. Cause like this was always like, and even Trump let us know, make America great again. Bitch ass nigga, America was never great. But that's besides the point. It was kind of great, at least. But now you trying to take the little greatness that we did have too with all this bullshit. Because you give us convenience, but you charge us too much for it, bro. I would have said, Versace, I would have said US of I. US of I. I meaning infidel. I'm not going to say Israel because that's what everybody expected me to say. Yeah, it was kind of great. There were some people I used to see, growing up, and I was like, man, they got a great life. I had a couple friends that I used to really just like, I used to look up to, not with envy, but just with admiration. Like, man, I wish I had my friend's life, but at least he's my friend. I get to go over there during the day, ride his bikes, play their Sega and their PlayStation and their Super Nintendo. Their mom will make some good food for all of us, but then we got to go back home to our broke ass household, right? But like that's how I knew that America was semi great, because some people did have it good, right? But not all of us. Like my household, we didn't have it good, right? We just had friends, and that's how we were able to get the experience. But like they're even trying to take that now, right? And that's what I was saying. Like DoorDash, Jay said that it's for the wealthy people that don't want to. Let me tell you, I had DoorDash to get the money for this car once, right? I did, and I remember here in Detroit, I had got this big order, and I had to go to this mansion to deliver the food. And they ordered a lot of food, right? They didn't give me no tip or nothing, right? The tip was just lower than like this is when I discovered, let me tell you the point I'm trying to make. Delivering this food to this mansion was the night that I discovered that poor people tip more than the rich. That was the night that I had the epiphany in my mind that poor people will give you more money than rich people will. A rich person won't give you shit, but a poor person will give you everything. And that's just the craziest concept that you will never be able to comprehend, bro. Is that I got tipped better by a motherfucker who did not have the money than I did by a person that had all the money. And that's because they got this weird mindset to where in order to keep the wealth, you got to hoard the wealth. You can't let nobody have none of it. Poor people don't think like that. I guess that's why they're poor though, right? That's what a rich person would say. That's exactly why you're poor, because you'll give your money away. No, that ain't why they're poor. They're poor because they know they ain't going to have enough to hoard it. Right? But that night I delivered some food to a mansion. I was only out there because I was trying to buy a car and I needed some money. And I got the money, I got the car, mind you. I did get the car that I was trying to get. Maybe one day I'll post it in my community page, the car that I bought. I put some money into the car. It turned out to be a pretty decent vehicle when I was done building it up. But I went to this mansion one night and they ordered like a lot of food and they didn't even tip me well. But I remember the poor people really, they tipped me good, man. Right? And I don't know, Versace, what your experience is with poor people, but me, I'm like Leonardo DiCaprio in the movie The Titanic. I advocate for the poor, but I respect the wealthy. I do. I respect the people who got the money too. I'm not going to bash the people with the money because I'm not a hater. No, that car ended up in a incident that put it in the cemetery. We'll just say that. Like, no, I don't have that car anymore, man. It ended up in an unfortunate accident, and I don't even know what happened to the car, to be honest. But it's fine though, because I had the car for 2.5 years before I lost it. I enjoyed the car very much. I got every penny out of what I put into the car through experience and comfort. It was actually a 2009 Buick Lucerne. If you're familiar with that car, I had the super package that came with the V8. I lowered it. I put black rims on it, custom tires, redid the suspension. I really liked the car because it was dark mocha brown, and I put black rims on it because I had all black interior, so it matched the interior. The next thing I was going to end up doing was I was going to put a system, like a sound system in it. I'm not really big on big speakers, man. I never been like that. Like, my brother's into shit like that. He wants 12s and 15s and shit. Me, I don't need all that. I just want to be able to listen to good, crisp sounding music. which I already had that in the car, right? I already had that in the car. I had the sunroof. It was lowered. My shit was fresh, man. A lot of people wanted that car, man. But I've had lowriders, bro. I used to have an 84 Cutlass. I had lowriders. I've had muscle cars. I've had a lot of shit, man. To be a poor guy, to be absolutely poor at the bottom of society, I didn't had a couple things that made me happy, man. I didn't had a couple things that made me happy. But you know, man, the world, man, we need to figure out what we're gonna do. Let me see, man. People do have nothing very easy to give you $1 because they don't know value of money. That statement makes no sense, Versace. And while you talking that shit about poor people, I can't help but spell that the way that you spelled Versace is the same way that like a bootleg company would spell their Versace. But I'm gonna read it again because maybe I'm wrong. People do have nothing very easy to give you $1 because they don't know value of, like, that does not make sense. Either maybe you're from out of the country and that's why it's hard for me to make sense of it. I'm hoping that's what it is, but like, this is the problem of this world is you got people with money who got like the audacity and nerve to talk shit about people who don't have money. I don't, and I will never understand that. Like, what gives you the right to like look down on somebody because you got more money, bro? I don't get that, Jeff. Let me tell you something, man. Steve Jobs died of cancer, and this motherfucker was a multi-billionaire. All that money could not stop the illness, man. But you got all these rich, wealthy fucks who still talk shit. And you know what? That's the problem with society is this classism, right? This wealth gap, like, and then some people be faking it, and other people just, they really feel that way, like, oh, poor people just don't know the value of money. Nah, bitch, I don't think that's what it is. I think that they don't have the big dollars, so what's the point in saving? You ain't gonna work your way to wealth. Who the fuck does that? Who has a 9 to 5 that got wealthy? Anybody, please raise your hand. If you worked your way to wealth through a 9 to 5, please stand up. You know, and let me say this too, man. Let me say this, please. Let me say this. Like I said, I'm like Leonardo DiCaprio in Titanic, bro. If you worked yourself to wealth, then congratulations. But if you did, first of all, you're a fucking lie, because no, you didn't. There's no such thing as that in America, period. There's no such thing. Most people that have wealth was either born into it or got fucking lucky. Like, I'm gonna tell you something that always really grinded my gears, man. When I would ride through neighborhoods and I would see a nice, comfortable looking house and the garage would be up in the summertime, and I would see a garage full of stuff. Dude got a motorcycle. I would see hammocks and tiki torches in the backyard, and just like the garage was separate from the house. And the guy's got 2 or 3 brand new trucks, and it's just like, how? Like, how the fuck did you do that when I'm looking around everywhere else and motherfuckers are doing all they can just to own a Honda? I just never got it. I think America's full of shit, is what I think. I think the American public And the system of America is full of shit. That's what I think, right? I think that it's very biased when it comes to money. It's just like in prison, right? The money only flows in certain directions, and some people just ain't got no action unless you're willing to go out there and harm somebody to get it. You just ain't about to have it, right? But a lot of these people sell their souls to get it, so let's not forget that. But at any rate, man, not to get off track, man, this world will never be what it used to be. But I used to see certain people and just the way they live, and I was never envious. I just used to wonder how they did it. Like how is it? It's got to be connected to the parents. It's got to be connected. There's got to be something that we're not seeing to these people that just got these perfect lives. It may not be perfect to them, but to us it is. We're looking at them like, well, how did you just accomplish all the little shit in a community where there is no real wealth? But like we're looking at you and we're like, you must have got an inheritance or something. How did you build that? Because like here in Michigan, you got like cities like Berkeley, right? You ride through Berkeley and the whole little township just looks perfect. Every house, every car, just the businesses, everything just looks perfect. And you're just like, how? How? How is it that just 3 miles down the road it's complete devastation, poverty, murder, devastation, and just absolute despair? How? I don't know. But that is the American spirit. That's how, right? I'll never be rich, Versace. They won't even let me get a basic 9 to 5 right now. If you want to know who they is, I'm not going to tell you, but just know I can't even have the basic functions of society right now. I am completely fucked over. That's why I'm on YouTube talking shit, because I am 100 wholeheartedly and completely fucked over out of society right now. And it's over for me. I'm done. They're going to sacrifice me. I'm just waiting on my fucking number to get punched. It's over. I'm done. They're going to kill me. It ain't no fucking future for me. My future is over with. I'm a middle-aged man, and like I'm basically sitting on death row right now. Honest to God, that's the truth. So I said, well, I'm going to make a YouTube while I'm on death row. I don't have any future whatsoever. It's bleak. But it's cool. It's fine. It's okay. I've already made my pact with God. He says I won't be going to hell as long as I do. I can't share with you guys what he told me to do, but I've been doing what he told me to do. Keep your heart as light as a feather. That's it. Well, I appreciate that, Versace. Hairdressers can make decent money. I know hairdressers that can make $150,000 a year. And it's just the irony of life how a hairdresser, because if you transition with a heavy heart, then you have to explain yourself in front of the spiritual council, bro. Keep your heart as light as a feather versus a heavy heart. If you don't know what that concept means, Jay, I need to know how old you are. Because most people know the difference between your heart as light as a feather and a person with a heavy heart. Right? That's that judgment day shit, right? That's what we talk about, that judgment day shit, right? Everybody faces judgment at some point. I don't care if you a little kid getting in trouble in school, or you're at the sunset of your life and you know you did a lot of bad things while you were here. Everybody faces judgment. Everybody. Even the people that seem like they're perfect, who ain't never did shit to nobody, they're still going to face judgment. Period. Right? So with that being said, bro, hey, We are living in a time where people need to kick back, relax, and enjoy the new transition into the future, because however things used to be for us, I'm a millennial, right? That's what you call my age bracket, and I know that for a fact. I am a millennial. 1982. You could even count me as a 1981er because I was born in January of 82, right? The very first month of the year, I popped out and said, "Hello, world." Which makes me a millennial. I'm not a Gen Xer. I'm not a baby boomer. I'm a millennial. I'm an 80s baby, a real one. So, 80s babies came at a time when technology was picking directions, right? Millennials came at a time when technology was deciding where they were going to take their technology. Are we going to have cell phones, pagers? PlayStation wasn't a thought in anybody's mind. Neither was Super Nintendo when I was born. A cell phone? Kind of. There was a concept of a mobile phone, but it wasn't nothing like what we have right now. You know, as far as a TV screen in your car, you were talking about basically fitting a damn what do you call them old it was a TV, a brand of television that was real popular back in the day, man. Everybody had one, not a Panasonic, but there was another one, right? Real popular brand of like old school television, right? And you know, damn, it's right on the tip of my tongue, but I can't think of what it is. I have never considered myself. I am who I am. Yeah, I hear you, Versace, but like, why are you talking shit about poor people, man? That's all I'm saying. Like, why are you doing that, man? Like, I don't know, man. And I see you have the picture of a female, but like, I don't know if you're a female or not, because you know a lot of people sit up here and be faking the funk. It'd be a picture of a female, whole time it'd be a whole man. So I don't know if you're a female or not, but why would you take digs at the poor community, people that don't have it and aren't well off like you are? I mean, people are still working. People are still waking up every day doing the same thing that you're doing. They're just not making the money that you're making. They're not unqualified. They're not privileged. They're just, everybody don't make the same amount of money, man, you know? That's all, bro. But I appreciate, yeah, you are who you are. I get that. Jay is in his late 20s. Absolutely, man. Everybody is just doing their shit, man. It will never be the same again. What's going on, Haley? How are you doing? You're a woman? Oh, you're a oh my goodness. Slavic women are so beautiful. I'm just saying, I didn't know. I'm looking at your photo. It's so small, I need a magnifying glass, which I have one in the room if I were to go get it. I'm all right, Haley. I am literally just stressed out on death row. I'm over here stressed out on death row, bro. I'm hoping that the world will see my point of view before I have to go, right? I'm working hard. I'm doing the best I can. I talk a lot of shit. I don't really mean to talk the shit that I talk, but it just comes out like diarrhea. Can't help it. But I do have a very good mindset, and I have the best intentions for everybody. You know, I don't want to hurt anybody, but I do understand that words do hurt people. I understand that, but I don't mean to hurt people with words neither. But when it comes to words, I'll fuck your ass up though. But other than that, man, 111 on the clock, 11 likes, 3 people, and 85 minutes in. I just want to let everybody know, man, things will never be the same because, like Bone Thugs and Harmony said, the world is very different now. It's very different now. The world is very different now. It's very different. It's different, bro. Like it really is, man. And a lot of people are having a hard time adjusting, me, myself included, in that it's hard to adjust to this new way of life because it's like, damn, bro, like they sprung this shit on us, man. We wasn't even prepared for all the changes that were made and all the changes that are still to come. A lot of people just simply wasn't prepared, man. Like I'm barely prepared for all the shit that's changing, man. Like I went from, a 2-bit low flea, low vibrational street dude loser to a high vibrational company man with many skills and a positive mindset. And then, like, my world came crashing down, almost as if I was supposed to stay low vibrational for the rest of my life. And the minute I wanted to change and work on myself, some like invisible ninjas came out of nowhere and started like swinging samurais at a motherfucker. And somehow I dodged all the blades from these samurais, but like they're not giving up, right? And I feel like that's a lot of people. We try to heighten our vibration, and we just end up getting attacked. Because we're really living in a low vibrational society where only the opportunists and the privileges, or the opportunists and the privileged, get where they need to go, while the rest of us get shafted, left out, and stepped on. And you know, all I ever wanted was to be rich, Versace. That's it. And you know what? I can say that, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I have wealthy people in my family. Haley, you have a great night, sweetheart, and I will catch you later. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you feel in your heart that you want to do that, then I encourage you to. But if not, that is fine as well. Versace, I got wealthy people in my bloodline. I don't come from a weak bloodline. I just have weak people within my bloodline, but my entire bloodline has wealth on both sides. See, I'm black and I'm white. And I have wealth on both sides. I have wealth in the black side of my family, and there's wealth on the white side of my. Listen, on the white side of my family, I have white American family members that are in politics. Hopefully, they're not in the Epstein files, because that would be devastating. But I got wealth and prosperity on both sides. No, I'm not full black. No, I'm black and I'm white. I'm a mixed dude. But like I said, I got wealth on both sides of my family, man. Like both sides. The black side wasn't inferior, right? I got a great uncle that lived in a mansion that had a very successful restaurant in the state of California, right at the entrance of the Edwards Air Force Base. Made millions of dollars feeding the military in California, right? Everybody knew my great uncle. All the soldiers that went through California knew my great uncle, right? He was very connected to the military because he had a restaurant where they all came, right? And on my mother and my mother's side of the family, I was close to my mother, bro. My father passed away in a tragic car accident when I was a young man, so I didn't get a chance to know him like I wanted to. Because by the time I was coming of age to really have my full consciousness, he was gone. And I didn't get a chance to know him. But my father also was he was a hustler, though. You know, my father himself had no, no, Versace, you don't understand the half of it. You don't understand the half of it, man. I come from a very dark family, very dark. They rather sacrifice you than give you something. And I don't want nothing. That's what's the weird. The whole weird part about me is I never wanted nothing from nobody. I never want. Like, I'm in Michigan. I'm from California. I came to Michigan. You know why? Because I just wanted to be a father. I didn't fucking want to be rich. I knew I had $1 million business locked inside of me anyway, but I wasn't looking to be rich. I was looking to be a father, bro. I was looking to be a devoted father and husband, and that's not what it turned out to be. That was an epic fail, to be quite honest. What I wanted versus what I got, I could make a movie out of it. What I wanted out of life versus what I got. Oh man, I'm talking about the difference between black and white. You feel me? Like, I got the devil when I thought I was God. I thought I was seeking out God and ended up with the devil. But I'm not complaining, no, I'm just saying, we got some real good cooking videos coming up this week. So if you're not already subscribed, I suggest that you hit that subscribe button and get ready, because like, if you like watching cooking, I got some shit coming lined up. We gonna be doing ribs for sure this coming week or two. I'm gonna do ribs. I'm even thinking about doing some brisket videos, man. I got a smoker in the backyard in the shed. I need to go pull it out and spray the spider webs off because spring is almost here. We got a propane grill out there. We got a charcoal grill out there, and there's a smoker in the back in the shed that I'm gonna pull out. It even got a damn thermometer on it. So I'm gonna pull that out real soon, spray it down with the water hose, and get it ready for the summertime. Man, my people who got money, let me get real close to the camera. Fuck them and their money. I don't need it. It ain't mine. I'm a simple guy. I just want to barbecue in the summertime, make my money in the wintertime. This is what I want out of life. I just want to build cars. That's it. If I had my way, I would be a diesel mechanic with a garage full of cars that I was building, so when I die, whatever I got left, they can have it. Finish the builds or sell the shit, but I just want to die with a garage full of stuff that I can give out to somebody else, right? I always felt like money was going to come to me regardless. You know, I've been around successful people. I know what success is. I'm not unfamiliar, you know, but I have many skills, you know, but the common rich man will tell you, hey, having many skills don't mean shit if you're not getting the big bucks for it, you know. But like, there's an element to this life that we won't speak about tonight. But if you've been around, Versace, you've been around. You've been around, and I appreciate that too, because I recognize you at this point. You've been around, you know. You've been around my lives. You've heard the things that I've had to say. And I appreciate you stopping in. I really do. But I haven't always had it easy, man. I've never had it easy, right? And any time that I've ever had it easy, I made it easy for myself.